Started off with punches, chain punches, legs. Alright, let's do the chain. This way we can see what's look. This is what we're looking at. This is the two variations of our hands and legs. In this variation, we have the levers. Now I brought these nunchucks out, not so I'm going to go ahead and impress everybody with my nunchuck skills, for which I have none. This is a lever. This is to show people that this is a lever. You arm, see where you can lock it in. You can go ahead and pull this way. Now it's working in that light. You can go ahead and straighten it out, lock it in, and then it's working in this light. You can go ahead and lock it in all the way out there, right? But what else can you do with this as far as a lever? You have these two bones here, basically. You can use that as an axe to hit, right? So you have this motion right here. If he helps with his other hand, go ahead and help with your other hand to control this. So you're sliding forward just like with the rope and hitting forward. Boom. Boom. So there's your axe motion, like you're chopping wood, or if you have a sledgehammer, right? For that same purpose, go below, right here. Yep, and now you're going ahead and going the opposite way. So the same way, this way, that way. Now how about left to right? Same way. Nope. Sorry. Hold this on me, please. From over here. Come on. Just hold there. These two right here. So if I'm hitting, let's say, for this way, right? You can kind of go at an angle this way. You can go at an angle downward, right? And the same variations for this way, same variations for if you're pulling it this way to make an impact accordingly. Okay? So we kind of looked at this. I think we can get rid of it now. So everybody can kind of visualize what's happening over here, right? So you have basically the equivalent of this. And you can use these as levers as well against your opponent. The other way that our arms work is much like this chain. We just kind of looked at the fact about locking in the lever. Well, how does a chain lock in? If we twist it, the links connect, and now it's almost a solid body right there in the middle, right? Almost a solid body to where you can use that as a lever, but because we have these two giant sticks here, we can use that by just locking in one, what do you call this? One link of the, or two links of the chain, right? In this case, it's basically like that with two sticks, right? Also links right here, you can lock that in. Also links along your spine. You can lock those in by just simply turning the shoulders. You can see it locked in all the way down to the leg. Now, the other way, okay, see that locked in all the way? So now I'm a giant stick, okay? So he can just pull me down and I'm going to fall down. Same way for locking that. Oh, now that's locked in by overextending, by the virtue of overextending. If you twist, okay, see now that's locked in very nicely. This way, it's not locked in. This way, it is locked in. The way to release from lock-ins, you can relax. And then just kind of relax as many muscle groups as you possibly can to leave a certain portion of your body locked in. In this case, see, it's unlocked again. The other way, this we kind of demonstrated the levers. Right? This right here, yeah, see? Now we have, it's almost a solid object. So like what I was doing here by pulling him this way, overextending, and then hitting right here, I was practically hitting at this right here downward. What does that do? That pulls the rest of the body, that extra 2 inches. That's not enough for that body to fall down to the ground. just a little bit of a balancing act. Now, for the punches, our arms work like have another whip effect, much like this chain. What generally hits with the chain? The very tip, the very one or two links, right? So if I'm going to go ahead and put my arm out here, what actually hit? Nope, so the last two actually hit. What happened here? The speed, the circular speed of this flexible or pliable object increased by the virtue of me shortening it, and the increase in velocity around my hand created this last hit with the two pieces, right? But that's what it is. We can do something similar with our arms, by the virtue of boom, like this. You're relaxed. You're not the traditional punch where you're tense and you're fighting your muscular system all the way through. So I'll go boom like this, right? Well, for me to get to here, from here to here, I've just wasted so much energy on fighting back my own muscular system. Versus for me going boom like this, you just relax. Like you're throwing a baseball. You're just throwing a little ball and boom. You got the whole weight of your hand hitting that object at maximum velocity, which you normally cannot obtain when you're tense like this. So which would be basically like taking a chain and going boom, like this. The last two links are the things that are going to hit. So whether you're hitting like this, right, or you're hitting like this, the last two links are the thing that's going to hit. Or you're hitting like this, and what happens, the last two links hit. So if you're hitting like this, kind of throwing it from the shoulder out, but you're also putting your leg into it because for that split second, as you're stepping forward, you're not only hitting with your arm itself, you're also hitting with the rest of your body for just that split second as you're taking that step forward. Try hitting at first like this, just with the arm at your opponent. Go ahead, just the arm. Now you're taking a step. See, Jimmy already underwent a certain transformation from having roots to not having roots anymore. Oh, you gotta don't move your feet and do this. Go ahead and hit. So that was you move your feet. Don't move. Just okay. Now move your feet. So the impact is far greater due to the fact that he actually carries that whole mass for just that split second, not actually going like this, right? But just for that split second, he actually, look where my punch originates from, about right here. And like a whip, it's starting to carry that motion, right? So basically just like I would be doing with this, right? So if I would be spinning this and moving this in this way, right? This way, and then finally I go ahead and generate the hit, right? Or I go back like this, right? So in that same way, like this chain, I can go ahead and hit this way and then come down and kind of like you're switching your legs for just that split second, like you're going from this toe to this toe and lowering your heel. Again, from this toe to this toe, and you're lowering. So for that split second of that impact, I'm putting the whole body, the whole weight of my body onto whichever place I'm hitting. If he is tense, then that whole impact is going to be just in this general vicinity. Now, if he's not tense and he's going to let it through, guess what's going to be coming my way? That way, right there, because he just picked up on that energy and gave it back to me, right? So if I'm kind of vigilant for this, as I'm hitting, okay? Like this. Either it starts dissipating this energy, so like if I hit, boom, and then he waited too long or didn't didn't allow it to come through, just kind of held it there for a second, and then it dissipates. Or I hit lightly, and he actually adds a lot more energy to it. So like this, right? It is my job to keep nicely relaxed. It is his job to keep nicely relaxed to allow that energy to form. For instance, you can let it out any which way. It doesn't have to go crossways. You just have to first get the feeling for it, and then what ends up happening is let it out there. I go ahead and let it out there. Now, if let's say you get hit, and there's nobody to let this energy out upon, right? In other words, let's say he cannot reach, right? So boom, now he cannot reach. Should he just stay there and not do anything? No, because then you're going to absorb all that impact. So in this sense, you let it out somewhere else anyway. And then just kind of let it out this way. Let your, okay, see, it went out that way. So if we were to take a stick, for instance, and the energy, right? So as I'm hitting him this way, you see that energy going that way, right? This is a directional. So if I'm going to go ahead and hit you, redirect this energy, please. So now I get hit, and either I get this energy, or he gets it back and uses it in such a way as to manipulate me. How much energy did you use of yours, and how much did you use of mine?
None of mine, all of it.
All of mine. So for the most part, whatever is generated by your attacker, right, gets given back to him in such a way until he either cannot manage it. So here's the hit, right? So right here would have been a hit to the hip. As it stopped right there, that energy did not just stop. It actually, like a stick, if I go ahead and it wants to jump up. Why? Because that energy has to go somewhere. If this is a hard floor, it's going to go and jump up, right? Or walk up the stick. So if you take a metal object and go, ow, that hurts your hand because that energy just walks up your hand in the vibrational form, right? Exactly. So if I ended up hitting right here, well, it's coming right back this way. It's and then from here, he either takes it away from me and gives it back to me in this way, and we either keep this energy moving in such a way until somebody either loses it or it stops. Now it stopped, supposedly, right? Because you didn't do anything with it. Now somebody has to give it some energy, and now that momentum is moving and in such a way that one it will explode at one of us at some point, or it'll just get lost as the distance between the two is going to get greater and greater and greater. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Right. So I guess let's do that chain again. The exercise with the chain is actually one that basically mimics an attack and moving away from that attack. All right, so if you're hitting me with that chain, you want to try and make sure that it's moving at such optimal speeds that the chain is going to be nice and flat, right? But not so fast that I won't be able to remember and leave in my muscle memory imprint what has happened here. And then just go, ouch, that hurt. So as he's hitting me, go ahead. So I can go ahead and just allow that to keep moving. I can go ahead and move right along with him like this, and you can move in any way possible way and allow that chain to either hit you, or you just stay in minute contact with it, or the whole idea is, again, you're basically practicing for something that might either look like hits or punches, or impacts coming from shoulder or body or wherever else. So this whole idea is basically to work mostly on your footwork. Try lower, higher, whichever way you feel is appropriate. You don't want to be locked into the same motion, if you will. So as I'm trying to evade, his job here is not only just to go one way, right? It's also to go higher, lower, to try and work on the legs, right? So as I'm using my legs to not only deflect, right, but to try and catch it, try and move with it, try and work closer on the hand, try and just, so if he got rid of this chain right now and did the same thing with his arms or legs, we can go ahead and visualize what will happen, right? So as I'm moving with it, I'm trying to match its speed. Trying to match its speed. And then add a little bit more to it. As I'm moving, again. As you can see, if the speed becomes too great, it starts swirling around him. And for a split second, becomes somewhat uncontrollable. So, or painful as it reaches, right? Mistakes are going to be made, but for the muscle memory, mistakes are good. Minor pain versus heavy pain is definitely more preferable, right? Right. Because, go ahead. Because what am I doing here? I mean, I'm shortening the rotational speed. This is a certain speed, right? As this is moving this way, this is moving at a certain speed. By me stopping it about midway, what does this do? The trajectory of this object changes by the virtue of me putting a pivot point right here, right? So it starts, it's actually increasing for this shorter space. The energy equivalent is actually this, except for a shorter space, the velocity increases. However, the impact is the same as from here to here as it is from here to here due to velocity speeds, right? Because here velocity increases, becomes less manageable. Well, as it's increasing, I go ahead and let it go. So where does it go? It goes towards him, right? So if I go ahead, see? Keep it up. 4, nice. Let's go ahead and get rid of the chain for a second. And now basically the same thing with arms, right? As he's hitting, there's your same chain movement, right? Same identical chain movements. Here we have levers. There we have chain. Trying to do circular hits, Jim, to kind of compensate for what the chain was doing. No need to increase speed right now. Just kind of keep it at that same tempo. Yeah, hey, keep it at the same speed as we were moving the chain. Okay, for a learning purpose. Because right now it's going to get, at some point, it's going to get so that I'm going to start hitting back. See what I mean? Right. So at some point you start getting, the muscle memory becomes so that when a point of loss of control is being reached in your head with your muscle memory, you start reacting accordingly, right? Because I have a little bit more experience than you do, all of a sudden my muscle memory will come in to where, okay, this is fast, now I gotta do this, right? Because it's already pre-programmed. What we're doing here is reprogramming former muscle memory. So by you hitting, try and keep it to just that same speed like what we were doing with the chain, right? So that's for my benefit. For your benefit, you're trying to see how you're being deflected, what could be done next, right? Does that make sense? Okay, good. So as Jim, okay. Good, good, good. How's it going, bud?
What's up, guys? You don't know Byron, do you?
Huh?
You don't know Byron, do you?
No,
Okay. We're doing some training as well
Oh, really?
at the tennis court.
Really? Oh, you guys want to join us?
I'll let him know.
What are you guys doing?
We do some Jeet Kune Do stuff.
Oh, really? We're doing Sistema.
I don't know it.
Good. Come on over.
Alright. I'll let him know.
You guys got padding. That'll be so nice.
Yeah,
We don't like padding. We kind of work on the floor because that deadens the hits.
Okay.
And what is the system? It's a lever-based system rather than a move-based system.
Okay.
So if you guys are working on Jikundo,
Yeah.
you should actually, you should notice some similarities because the whole idea is to keep it free-floating,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Rather than stick to movements.
Right.
Come on over.
Alright.
Maybe we'll have some fun. I got a whole bunch of weapons here if you guys want to play around with those too.
Cool.
What's your name?
Right.
Bryce?
Yes, sir.
Mike.
Jim.
So take a look. If you guys want to, come on over.
Cool.
Like I said, we're already halfway through it,
Sure.
and we're also recording a video on our website, necessarysurvival.com.
Okay.
More than welcome to take a look at it. But come on
Sorry
back.
to interrupt the
We'll have
video
some
too.
fun. Huh?
My bad. Sorry to interrupt the
No,
video.
no, that's fine.
We edited a lot.
The reason we came down here right now to this park
Yeah.
is we actually, we kind of decided to put it on the web,
Right.
and we decided to do a little bit more with it. I did have points where we were working with many people before,
Okay.
but I've never recorded it.
Right.
And a lot of people, some went to college, other ones are somewhere else, right? So I kind of figured maybe somebody will come up like that, and maybe we'll do some more training together.
Cool. Jim. Mike.
Jim, Mike, and again,
Bryce.
Bryce. Okay.
Alright.
Cool.
Nice to meet you, buddy.
I'll pull the seat back in. All right, let's switch out. Yep. You want to do some legs in the mixture because you were doing the chains, right? So the equivalent of chains, like you're hitting this way. Go ahead and include legs into it as well. Try and be more dynamic with the stuff. Okay. Try and raise them up higher because again, the whole idea is to mimic that chain. In the same way, mimic it with the legs. All right? And then we'll switch out. I'll do the chain on you, and then we'll do the same thing. Okay? Yep. Good. So, I didn't even try it. Yep. I'm just too slow. We're good. I'm gonna hit you. Okay. There you go. Nice. So the whole idea is to get it in such a way that the muscle memory is able to take over. Now, at first, what ends up happening is this. As the muscle memory is taken over, how do I find the word for that? Less mistakes are being made. So for a new fighter, what's happening is this. Keep going. The mistakes are going to be made, right? You are going to get hit. A professional guy will get hit regardless. Now, how do you take to that getting hit, right? This is where that mixture comes in, right? So here, as I'm moving away, and here I'm getting hit. Boom, it comes back to him. As you can see, I'm manipulating that chain in the same way. If I'm getting hit, it's either that hit is absorbed and channeled, right? Switch the weight a little bit. Okay. Here we go. A little bit more dynamic over there. If you're kind of having trouble with that. Mix it up with the arm. A little bit. Okay. Legs. I don't want to expect them. See what I mean, Jim? So if the legs are coming in, I want to be able to work against it. All right, let's switch up. You want to try some karate stuff? Okay. Huh? Okay. How do you defend against that? Go ahead.
Going on.
A little higher, a lot higher. This isn't Sistema now. Jim is. You want me to?
Oh, you want me to do it?
Yeah. So, as for instance, where are you working against? You're working against the first gear. If you're going to be, go ahead. If you're going to be working way out here, and you're going to get your hand caught in there, it's a problem because you're working then against sixth gear, which is a speed gear, right? So what the whole idea is basically this, where you're looking for that moment where you can utilize the levers. And this is what I was saying about muscle memory. At first you're going to catch 5%, 10%, 20%. Little by little by little by little, you're going to catch more and more and more and more and more and more of these fine moments. Isn't that right?
Exactly.
Right now you're what, 31 hours? Plus whatever we did here now, right?
Right.
Are you seeing a lot more moments develop as we're moving quicker?
Yeah, it becomes more natural. Muscle memory kicks in.
All of a sudden, if you see something, you want to grab it, and then you're resisting not to.
Right. Or you come up with more than one opportunity.
Let's do that same thing with you. We'll change it. Other. So again, same thing. Feels nicer. And for my part, I'm also wanting to work it around my body and see how that feels as well. So higher, lower, higher. See how these motions, are you feeling what I'm talking about? Yeah. Yeah?
It's easier.
Uh-huh. You try and use your different parts. Elbows. Hold that a little bit better, huh? As you're using your go up, nice. Go up, very nice. Oh, good. 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 Right. Groundwork, yep. Groundwork against the hand. Good, absolutely. Nice. Good. Try like this. Coming in like you're coming in towards it. Okay. Going from this side. Yeah. Yeah. Like you're going with it, right? Like you're stepping with it, and you're just moving over. Stepping with it, moving over. Stepping with it, moving over. Right? As I'm hitting, stepping, yep, there you go. So, just like that. Nice. Nice. Yep. Just not so much of a movement that way, more like, and come back. Or, and come back. Like you're kind of going with it and then coming back. Alright? Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Nice. How's that feel? Doesn't hit as much, right? Good. Coming up. Okay. Alright, you wanna switch to hands now? Okay. Tell me when.
No, couple more.
See, we're now, yeah. Is this better, Jim? Yeah. Were you able to kind of, Okay. Alright. Good. Nice. Nice. Up. Nice. Give me it back. Oh. Very good. Look at that. You know what? Jimmy. Go all the way down there. Maybe. Alright, one more?
Okay.
Yeah, no, yeah.
No, we're good.
We're good. But this should demonstrate it pretty good, right? Alright. So now from that chain, moving in the same way. You're getting into the rhythm, now you're gonna get you wanna slow down a little bit?
I want it.
No, I'm just saying as far as, you're getting into this now, are you feeling this?
Yeah.
Like second, you want
You want to finish it, yeah.
the muscle movement all of a sudden says finish it,
Right.
but then you're resisting that.
I have faith.
Just like me, I'm just saying, as faster, as you're going faster, right,
Don't get mad if I do hit you.
no, I don't. You know I don't. And what I'm trying to do is keep long movements, right, that are very similar to the chain, right? So that you can work against it in such a way, just like the chain. Well, is that easier? Now that you're keeping both arms in your, see? So, kicks, kicks, nice. Kick, oh, very nice. Kick, oh, nice. Kick. Change, yeah, change.
Almost got it.
Okay. There's the change. Here, change.
Oh, change.
Okay. Change. Okay. These are rotating motions. See? Same like the chain. It just seems different. Really, yeah, relax your arm. Why aren't you so relaxed? You're doing this.
Okay.
It's the same motion. So,
I get it. Yeah.
the more tense up you get, the more energy you're exerting. He wants to go that way? Fine.
I'm used to that. Right.
Yeah. I want to go this way? Whoop. I just did. Where would I have been here in a second?
On the ground.
On the ground. This is a beautiful tool
Yeah, it is.
to help out with that.
It's visual and it's physical and it's remove fear.
I mean, imagine fighting like this against an opponent. How are your arms? Nothing hurts? Nothing. Break. Break.